Welcome to Vintage Burn. This is Kev.
Marco.
I'm not putting my name on this one.
Douglas.
And tonight we're doing a movie review in the genre of horror. We're going back. We're doing a new movie, a 2020 movie that you all need to see.
2019.
Dude, it's Apple. All right, I'm giving Apple shit right now. Fuck you, Tim Cook. All right.
That's probably when they got it.
Yeah, it says 2020, and it even has it listed as a comedy. What in the motherfuck? All right, look.
You need to
I'm not even kidding you.
get off of Apple's dick. Horror, music, thriller, whatever the fuck music means. Because what? There's like one little music.
Well, then there we go. By the way, this is the best intro that we've ever had to our podcast. So anyway, we're doing 2019's We Summon the Darkness. The thing is, it did recently come out VOD for purchase in 2020, though. You couldn't buy it until recently. So I don't give a shit if it came out in 2019. You couldn't buy it until recently in 2020. Right. Okay, guys, so go online,
Are you
watch
defending
it in
Apple or
quarantine.
hating Apple? I still can't
No,
tell.
it's
I
not,
think he's
it's just
defending
not that.
Apple,
I'm not
yeah.
defending Apple. I'm just saying, like, it didn't actually come out for purchase or anything until recently.
In your defense, it does say release date April 10th, 2020.
Yeah. That's
So
what
maybe-
I'm saying.
So, yeah, what number we've been fighting
We
all
go
these
back
years
and
for
forth with
nothing.
numbers because it's hard to tell right now. We live in quarantine. Things are supposed to be released in other years, and they're released in New Year. So, look, it's a new movie. It came out recently. Whether it was made or released in 2019, it only dropped on VOD in 2020. Again, we're doing We Summon the Darkness.
Vision of Disorder?
Yeah. For those who don't know, and me, what's VOD?
Video on demand.
Oh,
I think of Vision of Disorder.
I think
That's
vi-
what
yeah,
I
I think
think.
vi-
Yeah.
What?
Video on demand.
Isn't that just called pay-per-view? Jeez-o.
Okay. So anyway, here's a synopsis. It's quick. It's easy. It's featuring Alexandra Daddario, the beautiful, blue-eyed, voluptuous queen. God,
Excellent,
she's amazing in
excellent,
this. Woo! Amy Forsyth. She's great.
So Forsyth or Forsyth?
Yeah, who cares? Johnny Knoxville. And no, don't go, oh, great, another... This is actually his best role and hopefully his last. He's great. But this is... here's the synopsis. A night of fun and youthful debauchery between three best friends and a group of aspiring musicians takes a deadly turn. Hail Satan! La, 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 la.
With
Okay.
unsexy results.
Yeah, unsexy
Very unsexy
results.
results.
Yeah, not even a titty. Read the release date on Wiki now. Dude, I'm so confused by this.
2019, right?
2019, yeah.
that's what I saw,
Everything's
too.
so
That's what I
conflicting.
saw.
Yeah.
But whatever, who cares? It
It
came out
really
within the
doesn't-
last
yeah.
year and a half.
Yeah, welcome to
Gives a fuck.
2020. We all live in the Twilight Zone, okay?
I still don't know how much this one actually grossed. Oh no, grossed 60 basically 61,000. I don't know how much it actually cost to make.
Again, probably came out in quarantine or whatnot.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
there should be like an asterisk underneath,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
saying,
I
like,
mean, this is like the newest movie we've done in quite a while, so I'm gonna
besides
go with
Haunt,
that.
I think, right?
By the way, we just want to thank the listeners at the tavern earlier. Marco was belligerent, and we did let you know about the podcast. So if you're listening, we apologize for his unfortunate slip-ups at
That wasn't
the dinner
belligerent.
table
It was adults.
tonight.
It was all adults.
The old woman there who gave the snarly look, she's listening right now, and I want your number.
Fuck that old lady. Anyway, we go to Alexis Val and Beverly in the van, and I just want to bring this part up because I think it's crazy how Thrasher...
Can we call it Jeep Cherokee? Is that cool? Is
Cherokee's fine. No, it's not a van. You're right. It's a Jeep Cherokee, but she pulls out like a Thrasher makeup thingy.
Yes.
And I just want to bring up how big Thrasher has become. Like, do you guys remember Thrasher?
Like the skater company?
Yeah.
That's what
they're
they are.
huge, man. They're like...
just a skater company, yeah.
No, they're not anymore, though. They're beyond everything. They're in hip-hop. They're in everything. Like, they're huge. And that's why I just thought the relevance of seeing that Thrasher on there.
It's funny. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When she's
It's
doing
there.
her
It's
makeup,
clear
there's
as
like
day.
a Thrasher, like,
They
symbol
paid
on it. Yeah.
buku dollars to
Yeah.
put their shit in that.
But I just wanted to mention that Thrasher was literally a skater punk like company.
It was
But
like a magazine, right?
Right.
This
and then it
movie-
kind of became this thing.
This
Yeah,
movie
now
is
it's
a
huge.
time period piece. I love time period piece movies. I always like a decade. This takes place. Is it
88.
It's 88.
88.
So I do love time period movies. That's awesome.
To an extent.
Sounds
We'll get
like
into
you're
that
on your
later.
time period.
But anyway,
Hope you get your period.
these three girls are driving along, Alexis, Val, Beverly, and they end up at a gas station. And the guy, again, a commonality to what movie was it we did? Giver. The hat said Giver on it.
Yeah.
This one said
Tucker
old
and the
old as dirt.
Is that what it said? I couldn't read it on my ghetto TV.
Yeah, it said old as dirt.
Yeah, it said old as dirt on it.
Yeah. And while they're inside, the blonde one, Val, ends up like showing off her ass to like this family man.
Don't forget.
Oh, you mean Charlie Benanti from Anthrax?
Is that who that is?
It looks just like him.
Yeah.
But Val is also the epitome of what a Madonna fan would look like. Okay,
Yes.
She looks exactly like a Madonna fan. She's dressed like Madonna. She has the same makeup, hairstyle, just the whole look. It's very Madonna.
Yeah, and while the other two, she's outside pumping gas, the other two are in the store, and they see a newscast of Pastor John Henry Butler talking about evil and heavy rock music and all that shit. But that who was played by Johnny Knoxville.
Like Kev was saying, he's actually really good in this.
I
Like,
know.
he's probably the best actor.
I was like,
movies or not.
Oh,
he's,
Johnny
But he's only in it
Knoxville.
for like 10 seconds. But, yeah.
that's all we need. That's about all we need of him.
he just brings that intense part later on.
He's
He's
good with it.
He is. I thought he was great in this.
Yeah.
I did like Point Break? Not Point Break.
Never watch anything else with him in it ever again.
What's the one with the
Oh, Action Point.
Action Point was
Which
actually pretty
is
good.
fine, yeah.
But that's not like a
It was
serious
fine
film.
movie.
This
Yeah,
is like
it's comedy.
yeah.
But yeah, he talks about the evil and black and whatever, heavy music. I'm sorry, heavy and rock music. I'm thinking of my own. And then, yeah, they get in the back of the car. They start driving. They also hear a newscast about all the murders happening. Which, like, satanic killings, it's up to 18 murders, they say. And it's like, fuck, man. Like, you start connecting the dots. Maybe it's connected to him. You know? Maybe. And I connected it pretty close to right away.
Dude. Wow, he's gonna blow the nut this early?
Yeah, I'm blowing
hold on. Marco's a bit drunk. So here's the thing. So they're right before they get in the truck and they're driving, listening to this, they go up to the old man at the counter. He's got the old as dirt hat on. He also has a
That's true.
Christian cross on.
That's
and
true.
he says to the girls, while they're hearing all of this in the background with the pastor about the crazy satanic killings,
Donation.
he says to them,
Hallelujah.
You look like good girls. You be careful out there. And they all kind of like look back, look at each other, and laugh, and look at him. By the way, they're all dressed as like 1980s metalheads. You couldn't be any more stereotypical. Black. Alexandra Daddario's wearing these gorgeous upside down crosses in her ears.
In her check. Oh.
In her chest upside down cross. Yeah.
It's actually
It's,
like a really cock tease later on.
Yeah. And like they're
she's-
just dressed like 1980s metalhead chicks, and including Madonna, the girl who's playing the Madonna look. But they just have that look, and the guy's looking at them saying like, "You girls be careful." And they're like, "What? You don't think we can't take care of ourselves?" And he's just looking at them, and they're like, they laughed at him. Basically, you could tell they were very independent girls of their time. And then they're kicking on the highway. They hear about the 18 deaths. It doesn't really faze them.
And the radio broadcast, yeah.
Yeah.
So one quick thing.
Yeah.
Val, when she's coming out of the bathroom, because she keeps saying she has a weak bladder, so she has to piss every 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Which becomes a thing.
She's kind of refreshing up the Aquanet.
She's the friend. She's like the prep. She's the prissy friend, right? We all got them. Like, I'm the prissy friend, right?
But I know where you're going, Doug. I know where you're going, Doug.
Yeah,
But that's what the Aquanet, yeah.
I'm just trying to set the tone.
Set the tone,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But
I mean, sorry to cut you off, Kevin, but I know where he's going exactly with the Aquanet. It makes
it's so
a
nice to
lot
cut
of
each
sense.
other off.
Like,
in
I'm
person.
the prissy friend, right? I'm the prissy friend with my hair. Marco's the one caring about his boobs and his shirt open with the upside down cross. And Doug is...
Doesn't make a lot of
Am I
sense.
Bev?
Doug is you're Bev.
Oh, I
You're
am
Bev,
Bev.
the quiet one that's like, I'm so embarrassed
See?
by these two. I'm so
It makes-
embarrassed by these two.
I want to be whatever
late, you're
Alexandra
Alexandra.
Diarra.
You
That's what I
are.
want to be. Yeah,
That's
what
what I
want to
said.
be.
You got the titties, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Val and I'm Bev.
I want to be that one, even though I don't want to spoil the ending, but we can get on to it.
We summon the dankness. That's going to be our new band name.
The dankness.
But I think Kevin already mentioned that they hear the radio broadcast of the car that tell them
Yeah.
the death toll and all that shit, and then they all of a sudden get a milkshake thrown on them, which they get out of the car. They don't know. Oh, what is it? And then, what is it? Val.
Val runs in.
Val.
I gotta pee.
No, but she tastes it. She's the one who tastes it.
No, she's not the one that tastes it.
No, it's
Sure?
Lexi. It's Lexi.
Yeah, it's Lexi.
Oh, right. Okay.
Val
okay.
runs across the
running
street
across
to
the
pee.
street.
And then
she's
Lexi
useless.
tastes it. Okay.
She's useless, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point. She's like the useless friend.
And then Val comes across the street ripping a butt, and she's like, "Why are you smoking? We're gonna get in the car." And she's like, "That was so stressful." Like,
Right. Lexi tastes it. It looks like caca on
looks
the
like shit,
windshield,
yeah.
and she
Yeah.
tastes it. And she's like, "Oh, it's a milkshake. Could have been poo. You never know."
And then she's like, "Yeah, at least it could have been shit." No, at least it's not shit. She says. It's just kind of like one of those like little quips before like it changes.
But what I
scenes.
love about this is it's showing again, like, look, we're in the age of feminism, and that's what it's showing us. It's three strong female characters, and that's what we're getting. We're getting like they're like just like that the hardcore metalhead chicks of the late '80s that are grouping together, no dudes with them, and they're doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get that vibe, and they all have their own individual personalities. And it's just cool to see. And you definitely know that Alexandra Daddario's Calix, or Lexi, is definitely the leader of this little pack.
she's the queen
man.
bee.
She's the fucking
she's the
leader.
queen bee.
All right, she's the leader.
And then the whole time you think Bev at first is like the younger sister. That's the feeling you get.
She's
know?
To an
quiet.
extent, yeah.
She's
just
kind of quiet. She'll bust balls, but then she'll kind of like
Yeah, she
quiver
hovers
when
back.
she gets ration shit thrown back at her.
Yep.
So at the concert lot, they finally get to the concert. At the concert lot, they spot the van that threw the milkshake on them.
Nancy from Kraft.
I get that reference.
Who's Nancy from
so
Kraft?
say it. Yeah, Lexi has
never
that
seen the
Nancy from the Kraft look.
Yeah,
Okay.
you've seen The Water Boy, right?
Yes.
You know, friggin' Bobby Boucher's girlfriend there.
Yeah, from American History X. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
and the
Elmac's
Kraft.
gonna kill us because Elmac knows her name by heart, and
It's
I'm like,
Fruza Balk.
Fruza Ball.
Fruza
Yeah,
Balk.
go ahead.
I
know
bind
her
you,
name.
Marco. I bind you from doing harm. Sorry,
That's
that's a
gonna
Kraft
start
reference.
binding you.
I
We're
actually
gonna
never
bind
seen
your
it.
picture.
I've never
I
seen The
bind you,
Craft. I
Marco.
know she's in it.
Dude, it's
What?
a good movie.
But American History X is one of the greatest
Yes.
movies of all time.
Dude, we should. Oh, that's a. Maybe we should do that.
Oh,
Well,
we-
no, I think we should do that one.
We should do that one. American History
I
X
don't
is
know.
crazy.
Well,
man.
no, because it shows both sides. All right,
It does,
we'll get
yeah.
into
So
that.
anyway, we'll get into it later, but I think we'll discuss this off air.
Marco made a great point. He's like, we want to do some like horror movies, but something
we
with a little
wanna
bit of
be
grit,
edgy,
something
a
we can
little
actually
edge,
talk
yeah, a
about,
little
you know.
grit.
But yeah, so Nancy, Lexi looks like Nancy from The Craft.
It's true.
She just has the same hair, the same smile. It's at some points in the movie, she actually even I'm like it almost looks like her, like they spliced her in.
Just not as good.
So they end up
Sure.
spotting the van
Lexi.
that threw the milkshake. And actually, we forgot to mention at the store when they were at the gas station earlier, they actually ended up buying some firecrackers.
Yep, and Twinkies.
And Twinkies, yeah. So they actually, I forget it, was it Lexi who did it that wanted to throw them in, or was it Bev? Or
I think it's Bev.
Was it Bev?
I'm sorry, not Bev. Val.
Val.
It's
Val.
Val's the bad guy.
Val's just like the fight. I was gonna call her
She's
fight
a
cracker.
She's fiery,
She's-
yeah. The one with the fucked up eyebrows. Yeah, she's the fiery one.
Yeah,
They're thick. They're just thick and caterpillary.
Yeah, and they're off color from her hair. But,
But that's the point, dude. She's supposed to be like, it's very reminiscent of 80s Madonna.
yeah, okay.
Come on, didn't we all have an 80s Madonna poster hanging up?
Yeah, yeah.
No, Agent McCarthy.
No, I didn't, but I mean, I loved her.
That's beyond the 80s, buddy. That's like 90s.
In the 80s, we were 5.
Exactly.
Whose mother lets their 5
I
year old
was-
have a fucking Madonna?
I was like
My
7, 8,
mom
9,
had, I
10,
had it, yeah, dude, full out. I had
Full on
the-
bush, like
I had,
from
no, I
Playboy?
had the one where she
Hey.
was covered in jewels.
Do you guys remember Samantha Fox?
Why do you think I'm so sexual? All
I had
right,
a-
it's I was.
It's
you know,
because your
I
mother
was-
breastfed you for too long.
I had a Samantha Fox poster. All right.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So anyway,
I used to have a Jenny McCarthy poster that was like,
this is a dick fucking. That's the '90s,
Oh,
buddy.
Doug, that's the 90s. That's
We're getting into
so
the 90s.
no,
old.
listen to my story. It was like one of those ones you get in like the plastic with the cardboard, and it was like on a hole in the wall, and when you took that off, it was just porn taped on the back.
Oh.
And I'd like take it off, put it on. Sean Sullivan taught me that. Skid mark.
So anyway,
He's good for something.
yeah.
they spot the van that threw the
Credits to
milkshake
Sean
on them.
Sullivan.
They spot the van that threw the milkshake on them. Milkshake on them. And
Credits to Marco's English teacher.
sorry, I had a few drinks today. And so they had with the firecrackers they bought, they decide to light one up, and you said it was Val, threw them in it. And now the dudes, you could hear them partying in the back and shit, so they fucking come out, fucking coughing, smoking, whatever. And then they come out and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing?" And they're like, "Whoa, remember driving on Route whatever this morning?"
And out comes out a bunch of beta males.
Yeah, three guys,
That
and their
look like
names.
they're 12.
Except for Ivan.
Ivan looks like he's in his 40s.
Ivan looks like he's like 53.
Yeah.
But anyway, they bought over some PBR. So they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we
that
want to
was
make."
funny, yeah.
Basically, they say, "Oh, were you driving on Route 5?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah." So they're like, "Who threw the milkshake on us?" And they're like, "Oh, that was you."
Yeah.
Well, we got some PPRs and some other stuff.
Ivan's kind of, for a big doofy fuck, he's kind of smooth. And he's like, "Hey, how can we make this up to you? You know, let us make this up to you. Like, name your price, basically." And then they're like, "All right, well, how about a beer?" And then...
Yeah, so they get 3 PBRs. And their names are Ivan, Mark, and Kovacs.
I like that. Kovacs. It was actually cool.
Is that like a typical 80s name?
I don't know.
I think it's
that's
more
our
a stage name.
It's a
because
stage name.
They say they're a band. Kovacs is the front man. Mark is the drummer. And Ivan does whatever he does. Guitar, bass, whatever the fuck he does. I don't know.
No, I forget which one's which, but one of them's leaving the band. He's
That's
gonna go
Mark.
be a big... It's
That's
Mark.
like... I don't want to say
He's the young looking...
half Asian.
With the mullet.
He's the young version of Colin. He's like the supposed like Colin Farrell lookalike.
To an extent, yeah. I see it. I see it like a young ass
Colin
Colin
Farrell.
Farrell.
Like
though.
young.
Like young Colin Farrell.
And he's the only one who kind of looks his age, in my
Super
opinion.
skinny. Yeah, he does.
I mean, I think they're supposed to be in their like mid-20s at this point because
ripped as shit.
We'll talk about it in a second, but
Dude, he's like so fucking. He's like 110 pounds.
Yeah, he ain't.
Do you
shit.
guys? I know this is inappropriate for the podcast. But have you ever heard the saying like abs on a skinny guy is like big tits on a fat chick? Like it just comes with the territory. And it's like, yeah, you have abs, but you have no fucking body fat because whatever.
Oh, he is tiny though. He's
a
probably
scrawny
110
little
pounds.
dude. Yeah, don't
I think
forget
Kevin's got it.
the camera actually adds weight to him, so he's skinnier. He's even skinnier in real life.
So the girls like have a discussion. They want to leave, and then get enticed by a hippie. They're like, "We got a hippie."
Oh, a hippie.
Which I've never heard before. It's a
like a
code
jibba.
word for a joint.
A jibba.
Yeah, a joint, jibba, whatever.
A boom.
It had to be an 80s term.
It must have,
couldn't
or
have fucked
probably a
up on that.
60s term, I would guess. But
He does
I've
say
never
something
heard
about
it.
like fucking granolas, talking about like
Grateful Dead because
that's what it is.
because she says because they were like we followed. I forget the name of the band. I'll get to it. Soldiers of Satan is the name of the band.
that's the band they're at the concert
Yeah,
for.
that's
right?
the band they're
Yeah.
at the show.
So they're like,
for.
you follow them. This is our 4th show. And they're like, I thought only Deadheads did that. He's like, I hate fucking granolas or whatever he
Granolas.
said.
I do like that too. I'd rather granolas than like earthy.
And they're
crunchy.
talking about how they've been following them for like, I don't know, who knows how many shows, too many shows, and blah, blah, blah. And they all talk about their first concerts, and they go around, and they say, so they ask the girls, like, when were your first shows? Can you remember that far back? And Val comes out with some obnoxious, like, Def Leppard?
Def Leppard. She
Like
said like the
1983
date,
or
the
whatever.
arena,
Yeah,
the date, like
yeah.
the city, and like the the tour, the
Yeah,
band.
as if she memorized it. And the
Yeah.
other one, and then...
Because then Lexi was like, "Oh, I don't remember my first one."
I don't remember.
Was it Scorpions?
And Val's like, "Yeah, wasn't it the Scorpions?" She's like, "Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
great,
that's
great
what it
show."
was. Great show.
And then like 2 minutes later, Bev is talking about how her first show. Mark's talking about how his first show is Ozzy Diver Madman, Randy Rhoads' last show, and Lexi chimes in, "Oh, right before he quit." So all of a sudden you're like, if she was a real metalhead, she would.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Bev
"No,
was like,
he died in a plane crash." She's like, "Oh, that's."
No, that's Bev
Bev
was at it.
Bev was like,
Bev
she
was
died
like-
in a plane
yeah.
crash.
Yeah. Yes.
So you
Like,
can
Bev
tell
knew
you're
her
like,
shit.
You're like,
Bev
Bev
knew
knew her shit.
Yeah. But the thing about it, is I mean,
That's where you catch on. See, so we got to stop. We have to realize this.
Weird
This is the
vibes.
point.
Yeah, even like that.
This is the point. There's weird vibes. Those they're pointing out evidence that okay, you've got one girl who just kind of goes off in her robotic mode of like, I went to Def Leppard 1983 at this arena, blah blah blah, and they're like, wow, you like remember that exactly? And then you got Lexi who's like, oh yeah, I have no idea. And then somebody else has to say like, wasn't it Scorpions? Oh yeah, that was it. There's no clue what she's talking about. And then Bev was finally like, yeah, when they're talking about Ozzy and Randy Rhoads dying, Bev like chimes in with actual facts, and you realize something's fucked up here because you have three girls that are definitely dress like metalheads.
Yeah.
But
and the way they're talking,
they don't know their shit.
We didn't really talk about how promiscuous they sound on the drive-in.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about how, when you're attracted to someone, your eyes seem bigger and you seem more attracted to them. And
that was the Thrasher part.
And then, that's why the Africans wear makeup, and make to accent their features. And then Slutty Val's like, well, I've never looked at eyes. I close my eyes when I fuck, So they seem like they're just these just promiscuous metalheads of the 80s.
But then you realize you're like, you don't know much about metal, actually. You can see that in that scene. You're like, something's fucked up here. But it doesn't... When I realized that, I was like, something's off, but I don't know yet. Because I just don't know where this is going. Because you have two different sides. You've got the boys and the girls.
Detective Marco knew right out of the gate.
The boys and the girls. The boys and the girls.
I knew right out of the gate,
You're like, these chicks. They're fucked up.
I knew right out of the gate.
Man. All right, well, again, these are the things you got to watch for, and we're just, we're just laying it down for you. That's our job.
Yeah, they argued about the murder count, too, while they were talking about, their first concert.
Well, and that was to throw us off. The boys going, well, no.
Oh, it was 12 murders, 15 murders.
Yeah, and then Colin Farrell look-alike.
Mark.
Scrawny Colin. Yeah. Scrawny Colin goes,
oh, it's 18.
It's 18. Yeah. And you're like, maybe these boys, they're the murderers.
Yeah, they know too much about it.
It's the men.
Because he actually had a magazine
Has to be the men.
So they end up going inside the concert from there. They end up hanging with the girls and the boys and all that bullshit.
Oh, I like that.
And they go to see Soldiers of fucking Satan, which is obviously fronted by King Diamond.
Soldiers of Satan!
It definitely did not look like him.
No, it wasn't him.
But
the vocals,
totally
was totally King
Diamond.
That's what
had to have been. And I looked for it, but I couldn't find it.
All hail Satan.
Oh, is it Black Funeral?
It's Black Funeral, Merciful Fate off Melissa, I believe.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Do you know what? I didn't even catch it because I looked at the soundtrack 4 times and I did not catch that.
I knew it. My wife goes, why do I hate that voice? I go, do you remember the show we went to? The Palladium? She goes, this sounds just like that fucking awful band you made me stand through. I was like, oh, King Diamond? I was like, it is King Diamond. There's no doubt.
Which was excellent live.
Dude, she'll never go. She's totally triggered by that voice.
But they're enjoying the show.
But I'm glad that's true because I'm like, that's King Diamond. It's his voice.
Yeah, so they're enjoying the show. They end up fucking, hanging out and coming out after it's over. And fucking, you see some cool shirts, like the Metal Up Your Ass shirt in the concert, which is cool. And then on their way out, you see a Fistful of Metal Anthrax shirt.
Fistful of Metal,
which is pretty cool.
See a Motorhead.
Yeah, some Motorhead stuff.
There was another one, too, I noticed. I can't remember now. But I remember that
there's a couple I didn't recognize, which I would have loved to have known what they were. I mean, if I paused them, I probably could have figured it out.
Metalheads rejoice.
But yeah, that's my shit, bro. It's all that shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know?
This is what I loved. Yeah. I loved the time period piece. I loved the influence. They didn't really fuck it up.
Do you guys remember the whole Metal Up Your Ass Metallica? I know it's kind of a side note, but do you remember why, how that came to be?
No, I wasn't alive.
We've heard this before.
Oh, I was alive.
It was on Cliff. He explains it on Cliff Mall. Live.
I forget.
So they wanted to call their first album, their debut album, Metal Up Your Ass.
Yeah,
but the album, the record producers wouldn't let them, so they said, so we named it Kill 'Em All. And he's like, kill all the record producers. And that's kind of where because they just want to have Metal Up Your Ass with the fucking toilet seat and a knife and the blue fucking...
Kind of made sense.
Right.
I rebought it for the 4th time. I have it somewhere.
It's just a metal shard. Literally.
Yeah, it's just it's like Arabian metal knife, metal up your ass, metal in your face, fucking eat, breathe, and sleep.
That would have been cool, but I like Kill 'Em All. I like how it came out.
It does add to the story.
It's very psycho.
I know. And you guys can't tell, but we're all staring at a vinyl frame to my wall.
Of Kill 'Em All.
Of Kill 'Em All, and that's the version. It's not a first pressing, but that's a second pressing, I believe, that has Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil.
Yeah, that's the second press. Yeah, absolutely. I have the same press.
Yeah, that's one of my faves. But sorry, we digress.
No, it's cool. So they end up wanting to hang out more. They agree they want to hang out more, and they're like, "Oh, let's go to a bar." And they're like, "There's nothing around here." So
7-Eleven's and Dairy Queen.
Right, and so Alexis says, "Oh, well, my dad's house is 30 minutes away. Let's all go there. He's not home." So they all agree to go to the dad's house, and that's it.
I almost feel bad for the guys at this point because they think they're all gonna score. Ivan sits down.
Well, yeah.
When they get in, chugs some whiskey from the bottle, and he's like, I don't know, we did deserve this, And he sits on the couch, and he's like, yeah, we're in 57
that's when they get to the house. That's when they get to the house.
Get to the house,
yeah.
By the way, they pull up to this massive MC Hammer mansion, pre bankruptcy.
Kevin, can't touch this.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
And that's the thing. Like, even when they're driving, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we'll get through before the gate closes."
Get through before they. Yeah, and I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful. Probably, I don't know if it's where. Do we know where this takes place?
Alabama.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I have it written down.
No, I think it was Arizona, Indiana.
Yeah.
The
other Alabama.
It was Indiana.
Yeah. All right, so it's
Midwest.
Midwest money, definitely
Bible Belt,
big old mansion,
CDs.
Which made me think immediately: is there an association to the church here?
Possibly.
Wow.
What was that?
Siri picked up Kevin's voice as mine.
Nice.
For no reason.
Yes, there is an association to the church. We were going to kill you all.
You are dead.
So they end up at this house. They hang in the backyard for the most part, and there's like a Metallica Megadeth conversation. And it seems like Beverly knows everything. Beverly knows that Dave Mustaine was in the band, and he got fired or he quit or whatever. He got fired, and the Cliff Burn thing she ended up knowing and all that bullshit.
Can I just say one thing about this whole part?
Sure.
Even in this movie that's supposed to glorify the fucking 80s, they still shit on poor Jason Newsted. They're like, oh, what's that guy from? I don't know. Whatever he's from. I don't care.
Yes, they did.
Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday for the Deceiver is a fucking... He's a goddess. God.
He's a god.
A god on base.
But guess what they did? They stuck to the time, dude. They stuck to the time.
That album came out years ago. They could have been like,
85, yeah.
They could have been like, well, this dude came from fucking Flotsam and Jetsam. And
I understand that. They could.
It's because it's the whole filling Cliff shoes things. It could have been fucking God himself.
They purposely did that. I bet they went back and forth in this movie. If you were like for actual metalheads, they were like, well, what do we got to do? We got to stick to the actual time. Because people in the late 80s, they didn't know where the fuck Jason Newsted came from.
No, but Flotsam and Jetsam, for a true metalhead, should know that album.
Well,
especially when he's talking about
I'm gonna say one thing. I think this movie didn't pay attention to some details, and I think like they mentioned in Metallica and Slayer was very short-sighted of them because they could have gone a lot deeper.
They could have gone deeper
if they wanted to.
But you got to realize most metalheads. Let's be honest, most metalheads on the this is where you guys are being fucking elitist.
No,
you are,
dude. Even Sleepaway Camp, the shirt you're wearing, it shows Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday the Deceiver in 2 movies. No, in the background,
you're being an elitist.
2. No, I'm not.
Most metalheads are short-sighted when it comes time to actual metal music. They are. They don't know as much as people who go deeper. You're nerdy. You're a nerd.
Your
a
face is a
fucking
nerd,
and you know it. And you know it.
No.
Marco's a fucking nerd. He's a nerd too. We're all music nerds. That's why we're on this podcast. We go deeper. But on the
I always go deep.
Come on, man.
For Jason.
Dude, in the late 80s, people were just buying Metallica shirts because it was cool.
No, but this is allegedly a month before Injustice for All had come out.
It was about that.
You don't think that people are going to be like, wow, Cliff Burton died in 1986, and now they have this really aggressive album coming out? Who could fill his shoes?
When he was already on Garage Days, by the way.
Was that before?
It was before.
It was 87, right?
Yeah, it was before. It was in between.
Dude.
But whatever.
I don't know. But
we can get into that
Jason
shit.
just has no love, and I just want to give a shout out to Jason because I know you're listening.
You guys are fucking nerds, and you know it.
Yeah.
No more Hot Tub Time Machine for you. You're cut off.
Is that what that's from?
Watch them Beer Fest.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking grow a pair.
So anyway, Bev knows everything. She's fucking in tune with Cliff Burton. She's in tune with Dave Mustaine. She's in tune with all that bullshit.
And then they actually have a drink for Cliff and pour one out for one's homies.
They do, yeah.
80s metal was poppy, too, at this point. It was all...
1980...
Late 80s... Dude, it was poppy. It was poppy.
For the posers, you're right.
Thank you. This is what this is about.
But the 3 dudes should be like, whoa, this is like, we eat, sleep, and breathe this shit.
Those guys.
Those guys... they're fucking posers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not even wearing metal shirts.
Yeah, my wrap up, you'll find out how big opposers they are.
Okay.
But anyway...
I'm glad they're all fucking...
Beth and Alexis conversate on the side, saying this is a big step for Bev.
No love for Jason. Fucking beast on Doomsday. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's how passionate I am. I was going to point my ridiculous notes out.
So Alexis tells her this is a big step for her. Like, something happened to her. And you could tell there's some trauma that happened to Bev in the past at this point. And she's like, oh, we're sisters and whatever. But, what?
That.
She's too busy to be thinking about Jason Newsted slapping the bass.
No,
on
the only thing that can take me away from that is friggin'
penis.
Lexi's. Yeah, he's like, it's like, wow, he plays the 11-finger bass.
He was great in that record.
So at the same time, they're
11-finger? You hear what I did there? Fuck off. Not the 11 string, the 11 finger.
at the same time they're having the conversation about it.
Welcome, Kev. Welcome to the conversation.
About it being a big step for Bev. They're making drinks for people, and so they're carrying out the drinks. Mark bumps into Bev, and the drinks go on her. So he spills the drinks on her, gives Bev his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks better on you than it does on me.
Yeah, there's a connection. Yeah.
So anyway, she ends up finding like a butterfly knife.
Switchblade.
Oh, switchblade. That's right. It is a switchblade, and
it's not falling down.
That's true. Yeah, falling down with switchblade.
How do they do that?
How do they do that? But so she starts flipping. Like, oh, he has a knife. Like, is it not normal not to not have a knife?
Dude, I have one on me 24/7.
A lot of people carry a knife.
If not for protection, it's a tool. It's a fucking tool. I could not tell you how many times I was pissed off because I didn't have it with me. But so you're right. Bev kind of gets the idea. Like, well, he has a fucking switchblade. Mm-hmm. Good flow, Kev. She's like, he has a fucking switchblade, she says to Alexi, and then she's like, what are they gonna do, like murder us or something?
Right.
So you still don't know who the bad and the good are here.
Oh, I knew.
For fucking Detective Marco.
I knew everything that was gonna happen in this movie. That was
Did you read the plot before you watched it?
No, I just knew. But anyway, they play, so they go outside after the spilling incident, and they play Never Have I Ever. Alexis goes first. I didn't know Never Have I Ever existed in the 80s either. That's a game I haven't heard of till recently, to be honest.
There were a few, I don't want to say continuity errors, but there were a few things that definitely weren't from the time period. And maybe this is...
Yeah, some clothing, too.
Oh, you caught something too?
Oh, I caught some clothing. But we'll get to that at my final whatever. But yeah, so Alexis is like, oh, never have I ever gone streaking, and some people drink or whatever. Mark's like, spent the night in jail. And then, what's his name? Ivan's like, oh, you know what I did that.
Oh, that's not fair. You're fucking singling people out as he's trying to be a badass because he's done all this dumb shit.
And so Bev drinks and says she got popped for shoplifting food. Another clue into her, like, childhood or whatnot.
Yeah.
So...
And Ivan kind of pushes on a little bit. And Mark's like, he's like, hey, back off, dude.
But that's it. I mean, it's not like Bev is like, oh, I had a rough childhood or whatever. She doesn't really fess up to anything at that point.
It's kind of like the little clues we get. And during this whole time, like, they're all kind of being very flirty. Like,
correct.
Val's
definitely the girls.
Val's goes over to, not the fuck's his name, not Mykonos. Why can't I think of his name?
Ivan.
No, the other one.
Oh, Kovacs?
Kovacs.
Yeah.
And she goes over and sits on his lap and, like, he's like, oh, hey, baby, come over to keep me warm. And then, like lights a butt off his butt. And she's like, oh, very romantic.
Oh, and and everybody's like, oh, that's amazing. Which is crazy.
That was the couch.
I fucking hope, because that's going to smell like shit.
That's not the couch.
That was the couch.
The three before that weren't the couch.
Ready?
That might be
That's
the couch.
the couch.
That is the couch.
Oh, nope. That's poop.
So anyway, what I wrote here was the shoplifting part, possibly shitty childhood, as opposed to earlier, possible trauma in her life.
Well, she did in the very opening scene. She was talking about how Val was talking about her weak bladder, and she's like, "Well, on family Bev says on family trips, my dad used to make my brother pee in pickle jars."
Yeah.
So and then Val's like, "You want to hear what my dad did?" And they're like, "No, we don't." So you can tell like Val's kind of get daddy issues. Bev kind of has a mysterious like past, and then Lexi's just a fucking wild card.
Yeah.
So at this point, Mark gets up, and you can see he's going. He's tired or whatnot. He's going to pass out maybe in the grass, which I've done in the past, so I didn't think nothing of it at the time.
The goat.
Right? And then, so Alexis, like, who's drugged someone's drink? And she drinks, Val drinks, and they're like, come on, Bev. Mm-hmm. And Bev's drinks. And so Ivan, the big mouth, through the whole thing, is like, oh, so you did it to us?
Yeah, whatever. At first, he's like, whose drinks did you, like, you know, drug? And then all of a sudden they all start drinking, and then he kind of catches on that he's like, and he gets up awkwardly, and he's like, thank you for the hospitality, it got fucking weird, like...
Yeah, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
And Mark's already passed out, by the way.
I like that they made the big dude the intelligent one.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
You think he was intelligent?
I think he was...
Out of the three, yeah, I have a feeling he kind of was.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Kevin on this, yeah.
But he seems like a big dummy, but you're right. I guess he was kind of a little bit like... Kind of like almost smooth.
They went outside of the norm where the dummies do, I'm Chunk! I'm the fat one! Oh, they actually made
You had to bring fucking...
Chunk's the best, though. We love Chunk.
Wait, Chunk from Goonies?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about, what's his name?
Iconic fat kid.
Marco, help me out here. Who's my doppelganger from Night of the Demons? Stooge. I thought you were talking about Stooge.
Yeah, he's not iconic, though.
You say he's not iconic?
No.
He's... Besides Angela, he's second... He's second to Angela in Night of the Demons. Dude, Marco, help me out here.
I personally agree because Stooge is the man in that movie. But,
yeah. Shut up, bitch.
But I would say Goonies is like 90% more iconic
91
than
fucking
Night of the
Truffle
Demons.
Shuffle, the dummy, the fat kid's the dummy.
I invented the Truffle Shuffle, in case you didn't know that.
Douglas.
Oh wait, you're talking about Chunk. I'm thinking about fucking Sloth. Sorry. I think Sloth didn't have any parts.
Sloth was muscular and special needs. It's not...
Oh, I'm like, his only talking part was fucking Rocky Road. How the hell was he sophisticated?
Yeah. Well, apparently he knew, what is it, Swiss Family Robinson or Swiss Robinson or whatever it was. Hey, you guys! Anyway, the whole point is...
We
digress. Just saying that they went outside of the norm and they made the heavyset dude who's supposed to be the dummy follower. He was the leader.
Stooge.
And fucking Colin Farrell. Yeah. Colin Farrell was in the grass, already passed out.
Yeah, the horrible mullet.
The horrible mullet.
You're not wrong.
I'm just trying to make some fucking points to this movie.
No, I understand. But anyway, all the girls drink. Yeah, the boys. All the boys pass out. And I would love to have seen the scene where they actually had to bring Ivan in the house.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Like, even if there was three of them, like...
Ivan's a big motherfucker, dude.
I remember...
He had to have been like 6'4".
Yeah,
he was a big dude.
I remember in high school, my high school girlfriend, I got hammered and passed out one night. And she probably weighed like 110 pounds. I probably weighed 240 at the time. And somehow she got me like up the... I wasn't walking at the time. She got me...
She did it, huh?
Yeah, and I woke up...
No help? No help?
I still don't know how she did to this day.
Yeah, she probably had help.
No, but it was that... I don't know. It was just... Maybe I was cooperative, and she just said I wasn't. But I'm like, there's no way you could have got me up here. I'm like 2.5 times your weight.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But that's what makes you think of it. Yeah, like dude, even if there's three girls and I could drag them, that's still gonna be like dead fucking weight.
So anyway, they end up waking up. Well, not waking up. The fucking girls throw water in their faces and shit, and they all wake up tied up in a room. With like pentagrams, like some sort of fucking fucked up demon looking skull, and
next scene, 3 guys tied to chairs inside room with satanic symbols on wall.
All over the place. Yeah.
And in the scene right before
spray painted too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to make it look like, or they wanted to do the full fucking
looked like a metal concert.
And right before was
kinda,
it?
Yeah.
Is that the same? Was it right before that Bev goes to like get the water? And she like goes in.
Right. Yeah.
And she goes in and
water,
she's kind of like turning and she opens a drawer and she's looking for a knife. Just kind of, you can tell she's a bit hesitant.
And there's a knife missing.
It looks like the inside of Doug's apartment.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, which...
I don't know if there's enough pentagrams, though.
You have a couple. I see like one right now. But anyway, like, yeah. So she notices there's a knife missing, and then when... what's her name? Val comes in, she has a knife in her hand.
Val's kind of a bitch in the scene.
I hate Val throughout the whole movie.
Her face sucks.
Oh, everything about her sucks. We'll get to it in the end, but everything about her sucks.
Okay.
I can't stand her. But so
material this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically they get to the point where they tell them, oh, it's because they're satanic and whatever, and then the boys kind of say, oh, we're not satanic. And then the girls are like, you don't understand. We don't give a fuck if you're satanic. You know, you dress the part, you look the part, and the news will play it that way.
Doesn't matter if it's true, only if people believe it.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean...
Hail the Lord!
So they figure out...
Jesus Christ, Lord Savior.
So all these murders are part of their congregation. This is what you figure out in this part. This is what they tell you.
This is the best part, too, because it's not Satanism, it's the reverse. It's the Christian Bible thumpers that are making metal seem satanic purposely to get people to come and spend money at their churches. Hail the Lord.
Right. So in murdering people, they think that they're going to get more followers because people are going to kind of change their ways
So I was going to say they find out that they are churchies and that they are setting heavy metal, like satanic types up to come to salvation, give them their money to save their souls.
And so it's basically a ploy to get people to come and join the congregation.
So they're basically setting up fucking... Tippa Gore was behind this whole fucking movie, wasn't she?
Well, I mean, I think it takes... Again, I said it earlier in a personal conversation we're having. It definitely plays on the satanic panic of the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
I mean, you can see it all day in it. And that's what this movie's supposed to represent.
I love it. Satanic panic of the 80s. 1600s.
We should do Satanic Panic.
And we will. I was thinking that already.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
How many centuries is there going to be Are we going to have another one?
Soon.
Oh, I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Did you know, I honestly think that America fears the Bible Belt in general. I really, because they're all fucking delusional. I mean, they really do fear the Bible Belt.
Sorry, anybody who listens to
anybody who listens to our podcast that's in the Bible Belt. We all love you, man, but,
You're fucking crazy.
There are some of you fucking crazy motherfuckers, I mean, seriously, it's true. I mean, I can't tell you how many states I've driven through just for work where I was like, you see the giant signs like, come worship him.
Yeah, but
the next one, he loves you.
And then it's like porn shop,
see me,
strip club, and then Jesus.
Jesus save. Like, I'm like, okay, enough of this shit.
So this scene here is going to be the best because of the twist, but the worst because you realize they're not actually slutty metalheads.
Go through it, man.
Huh?
But are they not? Are they not?
They might be slutty, but they're not slutty metalheads.
Maybe they want to be, though.
She says they don't give a shit about any metal or satanic
Except
club.
for Bev.
Bev
knows.
Yeah, Bev. That's why Bev's like my...
Bev knows her shit.
Bev knows she cares because she was metal, man. She was.
You're right, because
she gave it up for that Yanni shit.
Yanni. So when Lexi's having her heart-to-heart with Bev, she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're a sister. You're ready now." So you're right. I think Bev's like the wild card.
Lexi gets a pass because she's hot.
Those earrings. Oh.
She gets a pass.
What is it?
Alexander Daddario.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's magnificent, man. She's in a lot of shit too, man.
I need to start.
I might actually. I would like to buy my wife some upside down cross jewelry.
Oh, do it.
Just. She won't wear it, but I can just.
She's sleeping. Like, Kevin, why putting jewelry on me? She's like, shut up, baby.
Oh yeah, it just looks great on her.
Are those fishnets?
Looks great.
So Ivan ends up arguing with her a bit, like while he's tied up. They wake him up, whatever, through the water. So he ends up arguing with her a bit, and they're fighting back and forth, and she's like, "Shut up!" And she has a fucking stab at him with the knife, right in, like, the shoulder blade.
Yeah, like the most awkward
fucking... Yeah, like straight down into the shoulder blade.
And that's because he keeps calling her out, you Bible thumping, crazy mother. Yeah, I mean, she just goes off. She's crazy bitch. I like it. I like crazy.
Ivan's dead.
He did.
So, Alexis flips when Mark calls... Mark's also calls the preacher, "Oh, you remind me of the preacher." Mm-hmm. And he's an asshole, so she flips out. Right there, kind of figured something out too, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But she freaks, man. She's like, "Fuck you. The preacher's great, all this bullshit." So, Bev actually, like, pulls them apart. She's like, "I gotta talk to you, girls." So she pulls them into another room. she actually says she wants to kill them. Alexis wants to make it look like a murder-suicide. They plan out the whole thing. Oh, you stab... I forget what it was. You stab Kovacs in the throat like I did Ivan, and then you come around and stab...
In the heart,
Mark
right?
in the heart.
That way it
from
looks,
behind,
from
so
behind.
it looks like a murder-suicide. I don't know how that makes sense, but...
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. It's
Yeah.
not exactly like...
But while they talk about that, the boys are in, Kovacs and Mark, the two remaining guys, are like, hey, can you reach my fucking spiked belt? Let's cut ourselves loose. And he, it doesn't really show it, but they managed to cut themselves loose anyway.
So while they're in the bathroom, right now, like, I was trying to figure out at this point if Bev was like, she realized what the fuck was going on and was having regrets, and that's why she pulled him in the bathroom and almost gave them time to escape, or because she's like, hearing them talk solidifies everything that you've been teaching me. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I want to do it. So you're like...
No, that was bullshit.
So,
that was bullshit.
So you think Kevin, you think she was just trying to get them to get out? Yeah.
I think she was just trying to give them a little bit of time.
I think she realized that she was brought into this crazy cult. That's what they are. They're a cult. It's a cult. I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure a friend of ours, we've already said LMAC, and pretty sure LMAC said that's, it's pretty much a cult. When you join a congregation like that, where it's still considered a cult. Whether you're in a church, a gathering, it's a cult. When you're in a mass group of people that believe in something, it's a cult. You're a cult.
Whether it's a good cult or a bad cult.
Doesn't matter.
All religion's still a cult.
It's a cult.
That's a cult.
It's a cult. And that's what it was. And she was just like, yeah, I was a bad girl. I listened to metal. I stole. And I was rebellious because of my personal issues. And then she joined this group to try to find salvation. And she's like, they're all fucking batshit crazy. Worse than I am. Yeah. Worse than I am. She's like, I thought I had problems. This just woke her ass up. Is basically what it did.
That kind of, I don't know. We could go on for like this is normally most of the movies don't deal with like the religious, like the two sides of the whole religious debate. Like,
but then you have personal issues like Bev. Bev's got personal issues and family issues that caused her to become whatever. She was a thief and this and that, and so she was trying to find salvation in other ways. And then she finds this group, and she's like, they're more fucking batshit crazy fucked up than I am. Mm-hmm. Michael's falling asleep.
So the boys use the spikes to get out, like I said. And then they escape into a food pantry.
Yes.
Keys.
Got a skeleton key. All right.
That was, like, literally underneath your seat, jammed up under there.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
That's the hag's blood.
So,
I found it. Nope, don't worry about it.
Kevin found skeleton keys. I don't know what Doug's putting his keys into, but
for all of you listening, it goes to something very precious. Doug's asshole.
It's my chastity asshole belt.
So on the way to the food pantry, Mark blasts Alexis with a fucking cooking sheet.
Yeah, she does.
And Kovacs gets cut in the arm. I don't know who cuts him. It must be Val, if I had to guess.
I think it was
because she had the knife, I believe.
It seems pretty like deep too.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah. I mean, the ongoing scenes will tell you how bad the fuck it is. So anyway, they're in the pantry. So they actually tell Bev to go to the shed to find something to break into the door.
To break the door down.
Yeah, to break the door down. She needs to go for a really, really, really long time.
Forever.
Yeah, like really fucking long. So anyway, they find bug spray, the remaining two girls, Alexis and Val, and they spray it like under the, what do you call it, the bottom part of the door there.
The threshold, I guess.
The threshold. And, they're like, oh, let's get them out with bug spray. Maybe Black Flag, who knows? In 88, who knows? Black Flag was a bug spray.
Yeah,
maybe still exists.
So they try smoking them out.
Yeah, so anyway, they throw towels. The boys are smart, and they actually throw towels under there. And then all of a sudden, as they're doing that, a car pulls up, and which leads to probably my favorite character of the movie.
Really?
Stepmom. I love Stepmom.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's
Stepmom.
totally 80s. And
totally 80s, just like rich 80s snobby.
Coked out.
Oh yeah, geeked out, man. She's fucked up. And Mom, she's supposed to be away at Turks and Caicos. I can't even talk. Turks and Caicos.
Queso.
In queso, I love queso. Oh man, we ordering some fucking Uber Eats or some Grubhub Taco Bell.
I said Taco Bell, yeah, dude. I'm getting hungry for Taco Bell.
Yeah,
we'll get this
Hurry
done.
up with this podcast. I'm fucking hungry.
Taco Bell, please. What's it called?
Endorse us with free
tacos. Endorse us. Thank you. But anyway, she says she forgot her passport. It's probably like 1 a.m. It's after concert. Like, what the fuck is she doing home?
It's got to be super fucking late.
So she goes up to the safe. They let her go. She goes up to the safe and she opens the safe. She grabs her passport. She starts blowing some coke lines.
Ripping fucking coke lines.
Some toots, as I put. Yeah, some toots. And actually,
toots?
me.
The fuck?
Yeah, toots. That's what we used to call them back in the day. Oh. So Val says that. Oh, did you see the coke burgers, Hunter, or whatever?
Coke burgers.
The coke burgers. Yeah. So meanwhile, Kovacs is going into shock. And then, I didn't mention this earlier, I put more Jolt Cola. Earlier in the movie, they go to a gas station and they buy Jolt Cola.
Jolt, yep.
Yeah, so at this time, prevents him from going to shock. I don't know how Mark's like the doctor extraordinaire.
I know, all of a sudden
but he knows everything. And he's like, oh, yeah, drink some of this cola. And it's Jolt Cola again to try to get him out of shock.
Dude, honestly, to be fair, like, dudes of that age, or, like, people of that age, you had to know this shit. We got lazy with, like, hey, Google, fucking, if someone's going to a shock, what do you give them? It's like, you knew this shit, because, like...
Yeah, it's a possibility. You're right.
We've gotten lazy.
You're right.
But you're right. Maybe he does seem a little bit more knowledgeable than most.
Yeah, I thought that, too.
So we've gotten lazy as... I mean, maybe in the 80s it was that way. Like, or
maybe he was aspiring to be a EMT.
So I'm just out of curiosity. I just want to ask you guys a question.
We don't
6 inches wide.
That too. It never.
Pipe in.
Oh, that's great to know. But you never actually know in this movie. But how old do you think all these people are? Like the kids, the younger people.
Well, I struggle with that because every time I watch a movie when they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got out of high school," I'm like, "No, you didn't. You fucking graduated college."
Right, I mean, but it takes place in '88. And they talk about concerts they've gone to, like, Diary of a Madman was like 81, dude.
Yeah, well, no, I mean,
you know
even Val goes 83 was my first show.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So they got to be in their mid-20s, right?
You would think mid-20s.
Or even early, because she said she snuck out, so maybe she was like 17.
Well, she popped a cherry during Scorpions, that's what she said. Def Leppard, you're right.
Late 20s.
So I'm guessing they're at least mid-20s. At least mid-20s.
Mid-20s. That seems awfully old to be... But if you're brainwashed, you're brainwashed. Doesn't matter what fucking age
I guess
you are.
so. I mean, that's what I'm
cares?
figuring.
Alexandra Daddario. That's all I'm going to say.
So
I don't give a shit.
One quick thing before we continue. They find out, before she goes upstairs, they find out... Or was it... Am I blowing the cherry? I'm blowing the cherry.
No, say it.
Am I busting it? Good. So when she comes back down and she's about to leave, they find out that she called the cops and Lexi's dad.
And the dad, yeah.
So all of a sudden it's
and why though? Why did she call him?
Oh, because she saw the van out back and thought it was somebody breaking in.
All right, go ahead, bro.
And then she asks, she's like, "Oh, hey Val," and she's like, "Hi," and she's like, "Oh, is that your van?" She's like, "Yeah, borrowing it from a friend." So, so then she goes and opens the room where Ivan's dead with the satanic symbols and freaks out.
Yeah, and then
well, she hears the sound first. She's like, "What's that?"
Yeah, she goes in.
So you're right. She is.
I was anticipating that she was part of it.
You would, yes.
Immediately, I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh my god, you girls made a mess of my pantry or my mudroom," or I thought she was gonna be like that. Instead, I was like, "Oh fuck, she didn't realize that."
I think movies like Satanic Panic have kind of got that right into us. That like just.
I was waiting for her to be like, "Oh my god, you fucking made a mess." Instead, she was like, I was like, "Oh, she didn't know. Oh fuck, they kill her."
And they just got divorced too, so like
Lexi
I
kills
think that's
her.
why
Lexi kills her, stabs her
in the stomach.
She's down.
She did.
Then the best part is the fucking cop shows up.
Keep going, brother.
Which is great.
You're doing it.
The best part about the cop is he looks just like
Andre the Giant.
Nope.
Paul Giamatti.
Nope. None of those people. He looks just like.
Do we watch the same movie?
Nope. He looks just like Danny. Fuck. He wrote Halloween, the new Halloween 2018.
Oh, Danny. from
McBride.
Eastbound and Down.
Danny
Danny
McBride.
McBride.
He looks
Oh my
just
God,
like
he does.
Danny
Yeah, but like a
McBride.
giant version of him. Man.
Maybe it's his younger brother.
Yeah, a giant version.
Dude, I swear to
this
God,
dude's
it's
a big guy.
You're right. That's who. Not Paul Giamatti. David
The fucking
McBride.
dude, the voice and
Daniel.
everything.
No.
The voice and everything.
No,
I was
no.
like,
Are
oh
we
my
sure
God,
that's
it's
not
his
him?
younger brother.
It's not.
It's
no,
not him.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean it's not his younger brother.
I was gonna say, is it a McBride?
Looks just like
I don't
a
think it's a
fucking
McBride at all, but
So
Somebody look that up.
bef-
Get
bef-
back to us.
before this happens,
No, let's go forward.
Bev goes in the shed and finds some news clippings of
yeah,
satanic
like
killings,
deeds and money.
and then she pulls a deed out. So I'm guessing she started
The
like
dad. The
No, this is
dad.
relatively important. Yeah,
It is.
because I couldn't read on my TV. Is it? It's not. It wasn't in the
it's
dad's
a, it's
name.
a title.
It was like people gave their deeds, like as,
Right,
so it's
right.
like
The father was basically claiming properties and eating. He was basically capitalizing on.
at this
But
point.
were these
people.
the kill sites? Is that what it was?
No, it
From
was,
the murders?
I think he got the idea from old clippings, and then he was capitalizing on it. And she was finding all
he
the
was
spoils.
he was buying. No, he was also buying. He was taking the money from.
Yeah.
What he was doing was the murders. The murders were causing them. This is pretty much giving away the movie. The murders were causing because they were murders. The church was getting more money because he was preaching on TV, and as a result, he was buying more property. So she figured out
So
that
he was stealing from the
fake.
church. Yeah,
she
he was
figured
stealing
out
from the
he was a
church,
fake
yeah.
piece of shit. He was stealing from the church funds to buy all these properties for himself to go vacation in fucking Acapulco and Greece and
Right,
wherever
right,
he
right,
wanted.
right,
So
right.
she goes, she was thinking
Makes
to
a lot of
herself,
sense.
you piece of shit.
Can I just say one thing?
Fake news.
She finds like an old jewelry box full of like money and jewelry, but the fucking money is the $100 bill she has did not come out until fucking like 1999.
Yeah.
It's back in the 80s they would have the old school, and that just
Right.
pisses me off being a fucking currency.
No,
dude.
there was a lot of inaccuracy.
But that's such such a big detail, but not really. You know what I mean?
So it's the low cut jeans, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, so the cop shows up. Alexis go up saying everything's cool, just a misunderstanding. You know, my stepmom came home to get a passport. You know, and then he's like, "Oh, is your stepmom here, or whatever?" She's like, "Oh, she went to go to bed." And he's like, "Oh, I thought she just came to pick up her passport."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously something shaky. So he asked her for an ID. Like, "Oh, do you have an ID to, prove that you live here?"
And at first she's being really like, oh my god, like it's super duper late, so she decided, like she's acting like I'm like a valley girl and very innocent.
Yeah.
And then she just fucking, like that, switches
Yeah.
like into bitch mode.
Right.
And then I almost feel bad for the cop because he's legit just doing his job.
Right. He just wants to talk to the stepmom. He wants to see her ID to make sure she's, like, part of the property.
Like I got here asshole or just doing job, you know what I mean?
Just doing job.
So he was just, like there was a weird call, she couldn't prove otherwise.
Yeah. So he asked her to put his hands up on the car. You know, put your hands on the vehicle, whatever. She's like,
Kinda what she did.
and then she just ends up taking off inside the house. So
It's funny, she runs.
he runs off, like, you know, he actually gets the door down pretty quick.
Hey, metal hands!
And that's the,
Hey,
metalheads.
metalheads.
And that's the funny part. He gets the door down in like 2 seconds, but these bitches can't figure out how to get a pantry door open from the inside, but whatever. So anyway, he ends up, going through the house. Alexis kind of slips towards the basement. Val, I forget where the fuck she goes. She goes somewhere, but so he ends up like hearing the boys, bashing from the fucking.
Well, first he finds the satanic room.
That's true. Yeah. Right. You're right.
He finds a satanic room.
And
He
then
goes
he
over
tries-
to the pantry.
Yeah.
He tries to get in, and then Val shoots him right through the fucking face.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he has his weapon out, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, he finds
Nervous.
the boys,
He's
but the
nervous.
boys are like, "Oh, they're trying to kill us." So he's like,
Yeah.
Come on.
whatever. So he
Come on with your hands
actually holsters his weapon
Yeah.
to like handcuff him, and then Val comes from behind him, takes the weapon out the holster, and shoots him in the
Oh
head.
yeah, she shoots.
So
him.
she shoots him with his own fucking gun,
Yeah, hell
which
yeah.
I thought was pretty cool. One of the things I liked about the movie.
Which you realize that she's not fucking around either. She's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy bitch.
So let's see, where are we? Shoots him in the head.
Bev's come in with lawn some type of lawn equipment, which I still don't know what the fuck that
No,
was.
so you figure it out later. At first,
she took the motor from the boat because she was in the boat looking at the stuff in the boat that he had hidden under the tackle and everything.
That was a boat motor.
It was a boat runner. Yeah,
it was a boat runner.
Yeah,
it was the best weapon. It was a boat motor. Best weapon ever.
You know what?
It's a trolley. It's a boat troll motor.
It took me till later in the movie to figure out what it was.
I didn't figure
it's a troll motor that she just basically uses as a fucking weapon against the girls, and she's like, "All right, this is done. Let these dudes go. I'm fucking done with this bullshit. You guys are crazy. We gotta let these guys go."
So,
God damn it, Doug.
So just so you know, this is what I wrote originally. All right, I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna read this to you guys. So they end up fighting over the gun because Val has the gun, Alexis wants the gun. Mm-hmm. And Bev shows up with a tool thingy. That's what I wrote.
A tool thingy.
A tool thingy. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I got... Bev comes
and she
with
says,
some
no one
equipment.
is killing anyone. And that's what happens. But later in the movie, you see it clear as day. It's a boat rudder.
My TV sucks.
Yeah. You can see it clear as day.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
That engine would never start that smooth, fucking being completely horizontal.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's fine.
The fucking gas, no oil will go in the carburetor.
Prove it.
Turn your car upside down, see how it fucking runs.
Turn up the carb upside down, the carburetor in your ass.
You heard me? Why don't you pump on the brakes there, bud?
So the boys said, fuck this, dude. We're going to come out fighting. They rigged some, like, wine bottles. They broke them, made them, like, knives, sharp-ass shit.
Yeah.
They even, like, masking taped, like, the top, or electrical taped the top of them so they wouldn't break on the top. And so Bev comes in, and now she's pissed because she figured it out. She found all that shit in the garage with the money, the deeds, the articles, and,
they find out the dad, Pastor Knoxville...
Yeah,
is pocketing donations.
Right, in building rad pads.
Yep, and what's it like?
As they say in the movie.
Rad pads.
They do mention. Oh, I didn't write it down, but like he's not building like foster homes and shit like that. He's basically pocketing and being a fucking scumbag.
He's building rad pads. Dude.
Rad pads.
Rad pads. That's what they say.
Maybe I should change the name of the lodge to Rad Pad.
So the fight ensues. Beverly cuts both of them. Like she cuts one of them in the leg, one of them in the arm, I believe. I didn't write everything down.
Kovacs, Mark, Bev. Yeah, so Bev gets stabbed in the back, pretty much.
Yeah, that's coming up. I got that next. But go ahead, bro. Take it.
Oh, no. Wait, what were you just talking about?
I was saying how Bev cuts the other two. The boys pop out. They stab her in the back because they're ready to fight. They said, fuck this. We're done. You know, even though one of them's bleeding to death.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
he's all fucked up.
It's a pretty fucking deep cut too, because you can see in like the pantry there, and it's like blood like splattered
everywhere, and all over his clothes. You see just blood everywhere, man.
And you can tell he's just kind of losing it. He's kind of like just losing blood, losing steam. He's like, I don't know if I can make it, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So they pop out, they stab her in the back, but that's when Mark realizes she's actually trying to help them. She's done with these bitches. These bitches are fucked up, and I hate to say. Yeah, bitches are cray. I hate to say it. I'm not usually the type to use the word bitches, but in this movie, this instance, they're bitches, man.
Bitches be crazy.
And then all of a sudden, they stab her in the back, and you hear Belinda Carlisle, "Heaven is a Place on Earth," just blast.
I was trying to think of who's saying that.
Yeah, Belinda Carlisle. So that song, when I was a kid, was huge. I mean, I'm a little older than you guys, so in the mid to late 80s, that song was on MTV all the time.
Oh, boy.
Heaven is a place on earth. So that song starts. Mark goes to get the, so Alexis earlier, I forgot to mention, she actually took the car keys because Bev said something to her about it. She said, I'm taking them. Right? Anybody remember this shit?
Yep.
I'm taking them. Doug disappeared. He's peeing. But, so Mark's like, fuck it, I'm going to go get the keys. And then all of a sudden, you hear that song, then the power goes out. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still confused by that.
What?
What made the power go out?
They shut it down.
Who?
Val. Val was in the basement. I don't know if we can hear you, though, so this might be ineffective.
Val was in the basement. That's why the power went out, because she shut it off.
She shut it off, yeah. She shut off the breaker. So Kovacs goes outside, even though he's fucked up with his, deep arm wound that's, bleeding like a motherfucker. He actually runs into Pastor, Johnny Knoxville, as we like to call him here.
Yeah.
And Johnny's like, hey, man, everything will be all right. Just, kind of give up the gun and...
I think at this point we figured out that this is his house.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
We know. I just don't know who his daughter is.
Yeah, I knew. But,
I don't know who his daughter is.
I knew, but we'll get into that
in a
minute.
Well, actually, no, that's stupid. She says at the beginning, Lexi says, my dad, this is my parents' place. So obviously, if he's fucking showing up there, then obviously...
And they did say cops and dad.
Yeah. So anyway,
he convinces Kovacs to give up the gun. Kovacs is all fucked up because he's cut open, he's been bleeding out, he doesn't know what's going on.
He sees the pastor.
And he's like, I know you, you're pastor, whatever. And Pastor Knoxville says, I'm your wrath of God, and shoots him.
Well, he doesn't say I'm the wrath of God till after. He shoots him, then he walks away. He's like, I know who you are, and he shoots him. He's like, I'm the wrath of God.
Okay, whatever. Close enough.
But yeah, he's like, I got a phone in my car. Give me the gun, and I'll go help your friends. And he fucking believes him. The poor. See, that's why I don't give him to people like that.
So he walks in the house, man. Mr. Knoxville walks in the house, and he sees all these bodies all over the place. He sees the room with the satanic shit, and he just commences to open a PBR and eat some donuts. Doesn't give a fuck, He's like, whatever, this is like normal fucking Friday night for him, or whatever the fuck night it is. So, Bev and Val find each other in the house. They start fighting. Mark and Alexis fight, too. He goes in to get the key. She's hiding in the closet. He picks him up. She runs out and fucking attacks him.
So one's upstairs. One pair's upstairs. Another pair's in
the basement. Yeah. So, Val chokes Bev. Bev pulls out a Zippo and lights Val's hair on fire.
Yep.
And now let me tell you, this has got to be one of the worst choreographed fight scenes I've ever seen. It's like a blind squirrel taught him how to do this shit. Like, it's that bad. It's pretty fucking horrid, dude.
I think a blind squirrel could actually do the scene better.
Probably, yeah. I mean, the fight scenes were horrid in this movie. That's one thing I will say.
And my issue was, too, I keep telling you guys, my TV is shit. So when these dark scenes come on where it's, super, super dark, I couldn't even, until fucking... Val's hair was lit on fire.
How old is that thing? It does need to be replaced.
10 years.
2009.
Yeah.
It's on my list to do. I just fucking...
Shit. I wish I didn't... it was close. I almost got close to replacing the 43 that's going outside because I didn't think I had the audio for it, but it's not it. Otherwise, I would have just given you that 43 because it's newer.
Why do they have... I didn't know they made, odd sizes TVs. I thought it was, all even. This is 42.
I have a 43. Oh, 49. I have a 49. Yeah, I have a 49. Yeah.
This thing's so old, they were still in even.
Well, my 49 is probably older than that TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have a 50 that's newer, but I have a 49 that's older. Yeah.
No, I might be just drunk. I might be wrong. It might be a 42.
No, mine's a 49. I know that for a fact.
I have a Samsung.
Yep, I have a Samsung also.
All right, well, maybe they made odds. Maybe they're like, fuck
you. They did odds, yeah, they did odds.
We're going to make
odds.
Maybe
they're trying to be edgy. Fuck it.
43.
A lot of people don't even know how to measure a TV.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I actually think by 50. I just round up. I think it's a 49 too.
Side.
Diagonal.
Yeah, diagonal.
Yeah, you gotta go diagonal. If not...
But I wish that... Fuck, man. I'm sorry. Lauren's still like, but we can still get a new 50-inch curved one for $300. It's true, dude. It's so cheap now. Dude, for TVs.
I'm not being cheap. It's just...
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
I watch about fucking 10 minutes of TV a week.
Bullshit. You podcast now. This is your life.
I quit my jobs, man. Everything.
You can't even tell what color black is. Get a new TV.
Yeah, the dark scenes really fuck me. But, sorry, Marco, go ahead.
So Bev turns the power back on.
Hurry up. Jesus Christ.
We're getting there, man. We're near the end.
Taco time. I'm hungry.
We'll get in a few. So Bev turns power back on after beating, what's her face? Val in the fight. Val. And finds Kovacs still alive in the house. Kovacs obviously crawled back in after getting shot by the pastor. And he lets her know the pastor is there, and then he, dies. He just fucking dies. He's like, pastor's there, fucking, I'm dead. That's it. I have enough. So Pastor finds Mark choking Alexis upstairs after, in the middle of their fucking shitty Steven Seagal brawl. And he ends up shooting Mark kind of in the kidney area. It looks like
I think
back.
shoulder.
I thought it was lower.
No, I thought he shot him in the shoulder.
Oh, I'll go with that. We'll go shoulder. That's
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's shoulder.
Yeah, well, I put shoots him. You find out. Yeah, I didn't even put what area, but I thought it was a little lower. But we'll go shoulder. I'm going to go with him on that. And then he tells her she's been reckless and careless. He starts... Well, actually, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad." And that's when you find out Pastor Knoxville, whatever, Butler, whatever his fucking name is her dad. You know, you find that out right there. So anyway, he starts, choking her after he's saying reckless and careless, like I just said. Bev actually saves her. He fucking hits her. That's where I found out it's a boat rudder. You actually see it clear as day there. He fucking knocks him with it. She knocks him with it. And he ends up, like, kind of knocking him out. So Alexis, instead of being cool with it, even though she was going to die, she's like, "Fuck you. I'm going to attack you, Bev." So she attacks Bev. And Mark actually extends his hand while they're, like, struggling with each other in another fucking awesome fight scene. And trips her, and she ends up falling out the fucking window.
Yeah, the point is you realize Lexi's a piece of shit like her dad.
Right.
And it's going to be, like, fucking 50 feet up. Like, that was, like, 3.5 stories.
I'd say it's, like, third story, maybe, yeah.
That's still 30 feet.
Yeah, that's still a good amount of feet, yeah.
They say any fall, usually over 20, is pretty fatal. So...
Yeah. So, on the way out, now everybody's knocked out. Johnny Knoxville's knocked out. Daughter's all fucked up on the concrete. Mark and, what's her face? Bev,
yep.
Are on the way out. They see Kovacs dead. And anyway, they end up leaving in the milkshake mobile, the Jeep. And, so Alexis on the way out, you see her, like, laying on the sidewalk, all fucked up, right? So they run in the car, they drive up the driveway, then all of a sudden, I don't know how it happens, but Alexis is standing in front of them.
Like Night of the Living Dead,
yeah,
angry, growling.
Yeah. Which kind of threw me the fuck off. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. How is she fucking, like, laying on the concrete, fucked up? And then all of a sudden, she's, like, up there.
It's like Michael Myers.
Can't kill evil.
Yeah, you can't kill evil.
Yeah, so anyway, they end up fucking just running her over. That's it. Boom.
Which is great.
Run her over.
And then you show this, like, fucking, these, like, blood streaks, right?
You think...
Yeah, and then when they're on the way to the gas station again, you actually see the blood on, like, hair
and
on
you
the
see hair
on
in the
grill.
front, long
yeah,
brown
grill,
hair
yeah.
in the front. But it's great because you think, you're like, oh, well, something else... Is this going to be, like, Cape Fear? Is she going to be, like, dangling on or going to have a scene? No, they just
Thanks
run her
for
over.
the ride, lady!
Yeah, they just run her
Some
ass
creep
over.
show shit.
So anyway, it cuts to, like, a news report / this is the end, pretty much. Gas station simultaneously that they were at earlier. The guy with the same old as dirt hat.
Yep.
And then, Bev is there all bloody trying to get supplies to get, Mark healthy because he's shot and whatever. And he says something, and I didn't write it down, and I wish I did.
Who, Mark?
Oh, no. What she says, she's seeing the newscast simultaneously, and it's talking about how Johnny Knoxville's daughter went fucking crazy.
Yeah, my daughter was confused and brainwashed by Satanists and kind of like saying, like, he's... It's almost like he set her to be killed up from the beginning.
It feels that way, yeah.
Knowing that, because he said, like, like, there has to be something that throws it off. And I think he knew that it was too suspicious. So if she was dead, then, he wouldn't kill his own daughter. Because he seems like he's the victim in this whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what it makes it look like. And so they drive off. That's pretty much the end, man. I mean, there's really nothing else in this movie. I mean, it ends right there. I mean, and it has horrible credit music.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, it's terrible.
And
I'm telling you, the music of the movie sucked too. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get harsh, man, in about 2 seconds.
Wow, you were so positive, and now
Yeah.
you're such a negative bitch.
Yeah, so
Fine, let's hear it, Marco. Let's hear your point of view.
all right. So what I will say is Alexis, played by Alexandra Daddario, performance was excellent.
Agreed.
She was like the shining light in the movie.
Agreed.
I think that Bev story wasn't in it enough, and it didn't make her a sympathetic character. I think they just kind of poked on, oh, she's she stole for food and whatever, but it was like 2 seconds of...
They made her too mysterious.
Correct.
Versus trying to actually develop her.
And I think they should have developed her more.
Okay.
And I think that was an issue I had with
she
the
developed
movie.
perfectly.
Sure.
Heyo.
But I thought the rest of the actors were just blah. I thought nothing of them. I thought they didn't care about any of them.
Besides Johnny Knoxville, they weren't very memorable.
And
otherwise.
especially Val. Even though as attractive as Val was,
You found Val attractive?
I did. I did.
Well, I think she's attractive. She just it's just the
eyebrows. Yeah, the eyebrows killed it. But I mean, I think she's an attractive woman. Yes.
She did not have a good side profile.
I didn't really know.
But no, because you're right. It's like red lips, brown
A
fucking
side
eyebrows, like blonde hair. Like
Is that a thing, Douglas? A side profile?
Yeah, like I might look good fucking face on, but if I turn to the side and I look like a clown,
You're like, from the side, I could never do her.
Yep.
So
Never.
I felt she was an overactor. I thought it was pretty predictable because I kind of saw everything coming.
Yeah, I mean, halfway through I was there too. But
Yeah, so the outfits
still love
too, to an extent, certain ones like especially Val's again, low cut jeans. That was an '80s thing. That's more '90s.
I don't know. Were you stylish?
Wait, what do you mean low cut jeans?
How do you know though, man? Were
Like
you,
Like
Daisy
jeans,
Dukes?
jeans down here.
is this a personal
Daisy
opinion?
Dukes brought that up in the fucking 70s.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was like Daisy Dukes. That's cut. Low cut is like at the waist. At the waist.
Oh, you're talking about like not
At the
like the
waist.
length of the.
At the waist. Not talking about on the thing. At the waist. Jeans that's like a '90s 2000s thing where jeans are cut, like you literally wear them at the waist. I'm telling you.
So
Yeah.
you're saying the waist jeans were not a thing in the 80s.
I believe they weren't. Yeah,
You're
they
saying
were
they
high.
Were the navel.
They were high.
They
Yeah.
were high.
They were
Navel high.
Yeah.
But not.
I mean, that's just one character. All right, that's just one thing I noticed out of one character.
That's I don't know. That would have to be we would have to look back at the history of clothes in the 80s. I don't know. He could be right. They
Seems like a
could
lot
have
of
been.
work.
It,
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
it could have been a fuck up. It could have been.
And
a
I
fuck
could be
up.
wrong. I mean, I looked into it a
No,
little
it
bit.
could have
I'll
been
be
a fuck-
honest.
It could have been a fuck up.
And low cut jeans came into popularity in the '90s. But whatever. That's
But
again.
88 is so fucking close. Like if it was
Like
I'm
19,
talking late '90s, but
late 90s.
yeah, yeah,
But
mid to
late
late,
90s, there
yeah.
were fucking bell bottoms and weird Jenko jeans.
Yeah.
By then.
well, that was in the metal scene, but there was also another scene.
They
of
took the
hip-hop.
clothes off their freaking ass
Yeah.
and
I don't know.
times it by
Anyway,
15.
I'm gonna
and
take your word on it because I don't care.
That's
enough
fine,
to find
whatever.
out.
The cast to me looked like modern day posers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't like that part. The fight scenes were horrible.
Yeah, but that was the point. You have to understand, we're supposed to be in a new era where women will, like, men are not strong enough to be able to actually just easily manhandle women. You have to understand that.
Yeah, but even the women on women, let's just say they were choreographed. Horribly.
Right, but the whole point is, like, we're supposed to
Say
think.
women on women
We're
again.
supposed to be. We're supposed to think in this. We're supposed to be in this new age where you can't. Masculinity doesn't exist.
We're in the
anymore.
'80s. We're in the '80s in this movie. Fuck
I know,
everything
but
else.
I know.
But like you
The
said,
movie had no scary parts.
the guys are like, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't.
So anyway,
right now."
my thing is, I think the movie tried to cash in on the satanic panic of the '80s.
Plus,
I like the idea of it, but I think the execution wasn't good. So
Okay.
overall, I didn't like the movie.
so you don't recommend it.
I do not recommend
Okay,
it.
that's
I
good.
think it was
So-
actually pretty bad.
It got a 5.1 on IMDb,
And
which I thought was
I'm
fair.
with the lower 5.
My issue with this movie was, in the past 5 or so years, we've seen Better Watch Out, The Babysitter, these movies where all of a sudden you're in one fucking house the whole time,
Yeah.
and it's basically weird shit goes on, one person running around, and then kill everybody that comes in. Usually it's like the cops come first, and they kill the neighbor.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think of that.
I wanted so much more from this. I'm like,
I
fucking
didn't-
metalheads.
dude, I didn't think
hot
of that.
bro-
I didn't
You've
think of
seen
that.
it before.
It
And
was,
that's how
yeah.
I felt too. I that's another thing
I
wanted
did
to
like
mention, but-
the twist because I was not expecting
No.
the whole they're actually Christians dressed as metalheads. But the whole fucking just we're in a house the whole time and we're just gonna kill whoever comes in and
Yeah.
you know what I
Which
mean?
is typical of any house movie. You know?
All right. Well, here's why I loved it. I'm on the opposite spectrum of you guys, and I get it, and it's been done before. But guess what? Nothing fucking surprises me anymore. Every goddamn horror movie has
Poser
been
2
done.
with your Godsmack
No.
tattoo.
Listen.
Yeah.
But what I enjoyed was that we had a movie for people who enjoyed metal, and I get it, like it wasn't perfect.
Just the
but
beginning, though,
the
man.
cool part, I love my favorite play on it was the fact that they took religion and they said fuck you without saying fuck you. They shoved it up your ass and said all of the super religious Bible thumping fuckers that say that everything else is bad if you're not religious. They put a twist on it, and they made the religious people the actual satanic people. That's what I loved about it. I also loved Alexandra.
She was great. She was the shining light of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what?
Without a doubt.
Alexandra Daddario was great.
She fucking killed it.
But I'm just saying that her whole look and everything, but then to find out that she was just this crazy Bible thumper.
That's the cock tease, man.
And I get it. Yeah, the movie, like, in about 20 minutes, you kind of understand. You're like, all right, most likely. I immediately knew, feminist movie, they're going to be probably, like, the antagonists. And it's going to be this whole reverse theme, and the boys are going to be the beta males. I mean, I get it. It's so fucking played out and boring. But I enjoyed the whole idea of metal music. I got the scene. I thought it was a cool King Diamond reference.
That's why I chose this movie, because I know we're going to have 3 separate opinions.
But it's awesome.
Love,
we're supposed to.
hate, and
Indifference.
I recommend it. Like, check it out. It's just
I
go
mean,
into it knowing
yeah.
it's... The 5.1 is probably pretty on point.
And I'm not recommending as in a, oh my god, it's life-changing. I'm saying, like, awesome.
You're right, though.
It's a really good modern film.
I do like the twist on religion.
New. Nothing's new.
I do like the twist on religion, because normally, you don't see that played out.
No.
But other than that, I mean, it's true. There wasn't a whole lot of originality. But I did like the twist. The actors were... Oh, that stinks.
They're terrible.
But not bad to look at, though.
Except Alexander Daddario.
No, you want terrible.
Bev is a
You want
pretty
terrible,
girl, too.
a highly rated film, The Girl in the Attic, or the girl in the
Oh,
third
with CM
floor.
Punk, yeah.
Fucking terrible. CM Punk, you suck at acting. Stick to fucking wrestling.
Third
You
Reich
fucking
from the
suck.
Sun?
Awful. God damn it.
I know what he saw. I think it's the girl on the third floor or something.
Girl on the third floor. Terrible movie.
I haven't seen it, but
highly
I know of
rated.
it.
Like, oh, you gotta watch it. Highly rated on Shudder.
No,
Terrible
but I
fucking
think
movie.
Val, whoever plays Val, I don't know, but she's a horrific overactor. And I thought she was just
Seen
unenjoyable.
She's been in a
Oh,
lot.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
She's been in a lot too.
And I'm not saying she was like the worst of the worst of all time, but she was bad, man.
But I get it, and I
She was
respect her.
bad.
But I think that's where we're at. Like, for people who are like, oh, I'm trying to find the next thing. There is no next thing. Just enjoy. Try to like see good in some stuff, and then realize the shit that's being
Kevin,
also.
I
put
look
out
for
there.
sympathetic characters, and I found this movie really didn't have any.
I agree with that.
And that's the thing.
You made a good point. Bev's character, they could have gone.
They should have gone a little bit deeper.
Just a little deeper.
Just
in
a
her
bit deeper.
character
If
to
you added
understand.
literally 5 minutes to that movie, and just gave her a little depth. I mean, the movie's only an hour and a half long.
I knew all we needed was like her and Mark. I was gonna say Colin Farrell. Her and Mark go away in the corner for 5 minutes during the bonfire.
Somewhere, yeah.
And all I needed
And
was
just
a
have a
5 minute
discussion.
rehash
Sure.
of her shit.
Sure.
And I agree with you.
And that's the thing. It didn't give me that character. And,
You're right.
and usually in any movie, you want a character that's going to actually kind of hit you in the feels. And nobody did that. If you go into the movie like you don't give a shit about anything, it's kind of a fun movie.
Yeah.
I will say that. But, I mean, if you really look kind of in-depth in it, which I think is our goal to do.
Yeah.
You know, I just see a lot of flaws in it, and that's it. I mean,
I agree.
I do like certain aspects of the movie. Don't get me wrong. There's stuff I do like about the movie, but overall, it's just, man, I don't see myself ever watching it again. I watched it 3 fucking times.
You will for Alexandra.
Oh, she's fucking phenomenal,
I know.
man.
So
and I know she's
wish-
been in a lot of shit. But
I wish
she's
there
been-
was more Satan and
Yeah.
more metal. I think
Right.
it was...
the metal kind of gave out after the first 20 minutes.
Dude, and even the metal that they played was very glammy and very fucking...
Well, it was a
was
fucking
just
shit
pop.
soundtrack. It was a pop
poppy.
soundtrack.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be surface.
I mean, they literally
surface.
yeah.
Surface.
Yeah.
They're not attracting you,
They-
dog.
they
Dude,
literally
they're not
had-
attracting
Is that why I'm
you.
upset?
Yes.
Because I want, like,
you
obscure...
don't. No, you don't understand.
Dude, River's Edge. Have you ever seen River's Edge?
Dude,
With Kristen Glovin?
River Phoenix, right?
you
Riv-
don't
yep.
understand.
No, Keanu Reeves.
You're not
Oh, okay,
the
okay,
audience.
yeah.
You're
I've
not
seen it
the
back in the
audience.
day, yeah.
You are not the audience.
Yeah.
You're not the audience.
Yeah,
dude.
it's a younger target audience. They don't give a shit
So
about you.
it's almost like watching a Marvel movie
But you know what's
and
beautiful
not
about
knowing
it?
anything about comics, where it's just like very entry level.
You know what's cool about it? In this movie, how many teeny bopper women or girls, teeny bopper chicks, are going to actually look up some of these bands and maybe start to, on the surface.
I'd say 0.
I say goose egg.
I call you bullshit. I call bullshit.
I call goose egg. I hate to say it.
Okay.
They'd be
I'm
like,
with-
Metallica,
I'm
they're
with
fucking
Douglas
old dad
on this.
rock.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I'm with
Give it
Doug on
another
this.
15 years and then like it'll be like cool again to be young and into like metal because it's like It's like cool. It's cool. It's old dad rock. It's passe. Now the hipsters are getting into it because it's so cool. It's uncool or so uncool.
It's alright because if I want, I aspire to be Wooderson because the older I get, they stay the same age.
All right.
On that note, Marco. On that note, I'm Kev.
Marco!
And I'm still not putting my fucking name on this. Marco's embarrassing me.
And if you don't have a joint, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Fuck.